Hello, everyone. What's today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Ryan Nolan with Walking Into the Light. Thank you for joining my channel. And if you do like this video, please hit the like, subscribe, or share button below. I'll also have a donation link in the description box if you're interested in doing that. If you do that, I greatly appreciate it. Anything is helpful at this point. But let's get started. This is probably my most important video that I put out so far on my channel. And for those that have gone or watched my videos from the past, they'll know that the main theme about my channel is about the spiritual battle that's been taking place between light versus dark, and the fact that I'm just using the channel as a way to wake people up to that fact that there has been a spiritual battle, because a lot of people all over the world have been really not aware of that and have been in a slumber really to the fact that this has been taking place. And that's allowed a lot of darkness to take place in this world, where a lot of atrocities, a lot of things that have gone on that no one knows about has gone on in the darkness because of the fact that people are not awake to the very fact that we're actually even having a spiritual battle to begin with. So that's the reason for this video and this channel, is to wake people up. And this video specifically is very important because I'm going to talk about some things that, you know, the government, people in politics, people in positions of power definitely do not want me to get out. And I can tell you this, that my whole life I've been targeted. I've had a target on my back since I was born, because at some point I was going to understand who I truly was and the spiritual gifts that God has given me. So God, all the glory goes to Him. He's the one that's been able to really wake me up to my true potential. And that's the reason I have this channel too, is to wake other people up to the true potential that they have. And but back to the fact that I've been targeted, they definitely don't want me to get this information out. So just know that this is important, and that if you take this to heart, I know that it can change your life. I know that it can change a lot of people's lives, and it can change just the way people look at the world, how they look at themselves, and the role that they play within the world. So to get started on what I wanted to talk about, it's all about the one self that I've been talking about for a long time, which is the one consciousness or one energy that we all are interconnected with. And this one consciousness is something I think most people agree that is real, that most people would consent to the fact that we're all connected as one. But I want to take it, multiple steps forward beyond that to share with you what that truly means. And what that means is that we're all connected as one energy at every present moment. And the way that the universe is structured is that the one consciousness that is the reality of all things. So the only thing that's real is this one consciousness, which is one energy that connects all souls together as one energy. Now, within this one energy, you have a spectrum of energies, from low vibrational energies to high vibrational energies. So the lower vibrational energies represent those feelings of control, greed, lust, power are the main ones. And that spectrum goes to the higher vibrational energies, which goes to unconditional love at the very top. And anything in between that, are the other energies as well. So just know that all the actions that you see among human beings throughout the entire world is based on the fact that it comes from the one energy that has a spectrum of energies within this one energy. Now, this one energy or one consciousness that connects all human souls is within every human body. So so I have the consciousness inside of me, and then people listening in on this video have that one consciousness within them as well. It's the same consciousness that we all share, that one consciousness that connects every human soul within our body. And then how it works is, outside of our body is the one consciousness as well. So the one consciousness is within us, and it's also on the outside of us. And what's on the outside of us, the one consciousness, is reflecting what the one consciousness inside of us, and how you feel about yourself is reflected on the outside. So basically, what's going on the inside of you is happening on the outside of you, is the best way to look at it. And the one thing that is really important to remember, though, is your body itself. So the actual physical body, the emotions that come with your physical body, the five senses, all of that is part of consciousness as well. That consciousness is connected to all of the universe as one consciousness, as one energy at every present moment. So the body that you have at every present moment is connected to every other body and every other, aspect of the universe, basically at every present moment as one energy. Now that present moment happens over and over again into infinity. So it's the way that I look at it is there's a static present moment that connects everyone as one energy, which includes everyone's body and everything in the universe as one at every present moment. And then it happens again, and then it happens again, and it happens again, all the way into infinity. So what that means is that time is actually an illusion, but that we're all connected as one. And it also means that we're not separate from anything that we experience, that every person that you see is also connected to you as one energy. So that means that, when I'm interacting with somebody or you're interacting with somebody, a lot of times when we're speaking to them or doing whatever we're doing with them, when we speak, we think that they're responding back to us, which creates the illusion of separation, which is not real, but it creates the illusion of separation. So that means that a lot of people feel as though when you buy into the idea that it's real, that the illusion of separation is real, that means that you start to question what you're going to say because it's going to be responded by what you believe to be an outside consciousness of yourself. And that's the illusion that creates the false sense of an ego, where you have to control the situation because now you feel as though you have to say things that are proper, that you're going to be accepted by, and that the other person's going to accept, that other person's going to approve of what you're saying. So when that happens, that means that you start shrinking in what you believe you're able to do, because you just can't do anything when you feel like someone's going to respond to the things that you're doing, right? So you shrink in self-belief because you have to not do certain things in your own mind. And what that does is within your body, the consciousness that I was just talking about that you have, that everybody has, will then shrink in consciousness. You shrink in faith within that one consciousness within your body. And that's the only thing that's real. And what happens when you do that is that the illusion of this universe, the universe is simply an illusion or a projection of that one consciousness that's within you. And once again, that illusion is the entire universe, which connects all bodies and everything in it in one energy at every present moment that I talked about. But when you shrink in self-belief within you, then what's going to reflect from the universe back to you is that same control that you feel about yourself, or that lack of self-belief. So what you think is someone responding back to you is simply someone reflecting back to you the lack of belief that you have in yourself. And so then you start feeling as though, wow, that, I really have to control what I do now because, the world's confirming how I feel about myself. The world, I really do have to control the outcome. I really do have to control what I say, control what I do, because I can't just do anything, because look, when I worry about something, it still happens. So it creates that self-fulfilling prophecy of feeling like you have to control the situation, and then you lead yourself down a deeper hole that's harder to get out of. So that's what, when I talk about the one consciousness that we all share, that one energy that we all share, that's just one example, and it's probably the most important one to talk about, of how the universe is constructed with that one energy at every present moment. So back to how the construction of the universe works, that one consciousness is within you, your body, and then everything attached to you within the universe is connected as one energy at every present moment, is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So your body actually isn't who you are. Who you are is everything that you experience, because like I said, at every present moment, the world or the universe is reflecting back to you how you feel about yourself. And that's the true reflection of yourself. That's the true understanding of who you are at that moment. So what it truly means is that there's nothing outside of you, right? It means that there's nothing outside of yourself. There's nothing outside of your own consciousness. And every person is similar this way. Every person is in the same situation because we're all part of this collectively as one human soul. And every person or every human soul is simply another version of that consciousness that we have within our one consciousness that you have within your body. So in other words, it's a different level of energy. So the energy that you might have in that one consciousness, the lower vibrational energy that I was talking about, for instance, of power, that so the person that you might be experiencing that you feel is very dominant or very domineering is really just a representation of that energy that you have within yourself, and it's being reflected back to you because you are fearful of the fact that you feel separate from the experience that you're experiencing. And that's what causes that illusion of separation. That's what causes the illusion to continue to increase within your life. So that's kind of it in a nutshell as to why it's so important to understand how the universe works and understand that we're all connected, and what that really means in layman's terms from a daily standpoint on how we can conduct our activities, from day to day, is to not worry about anything, because all we're doing really is just living within our own consciousness, living within ourself. And it's a way for God to have his children accept themselves by creating the illusion of someone separate. So the illusion of someone separate isn't real, but it just is a way to educate us and to help us evolve as souls, so that we would eventually come to a point where we understand this and we accept the versions of ourself by the outside reflection of all the souls that are actually within us that are being projected out. So that's the purpose of the matrix and the duality. But I wanted to get back to what really, people in positions of power like the elite and what those people don't want me to talk about is that the people that have been dominating this world in positions of power come from the lower vibrational energies of the one self. So that means that the energies of pride, the energies of power, greed, lust, those types of energies are the energies that these souls in positions of power have been put in by Satan and the devil, specifically to make sure that humankind would never evolve and never raise their level of consciousness. And the way that it's been done is that Satan, or the devil, the devil is simply an energy of low vibrational energy outside of the universe, because God did not create the one collective soul or one consciousness that's within us to include fear. However, because when we're unaware of ourselves, when we're unaware of the true potential that we have within us, we can be overtaken by demonic forces. And Satan knew this. So Satan, being on the outside of the one consciousness, was able to infiltrate that one energy that connects us all by making Adam believe that the experiences that he was experiencing were experiences that were judging him. And that created a false sense of separation that I've been talking about. When in actuality, it was just a reflection of Adam and how he felt about himself at that moment in time. He was tricked into believing that this was an outside consciousness that was judging him. And that's why in the Bible it talks about self-conscious, him feeling self-conscious at times. And that created that fear, that created a sense of illusion. The illusion of separation was created. And that was when the devil or Satan was able to infiltrate the one consciousness, one energy, and utilize that to his advantage by making it seem as though the illusion of separation was real and creating a bigger divide. And once that happened, more energy of fear was created. And that energy of fear, or the belief that your ego is real, the energy of fear is another way of saying that your ego is real. So the more that you think that your ego or your sense of control, or that you are simply your body, is who you truly are, which is the furthest thing from the truth. There's nothing more untrue than the fact that all you are is your body, because you are everything, right? So how much do you shrink in self-belief to think that you're only your body? That's such a huge inversion of truth, which is why the devil is the inversion of truth, because the devil is all about making you believe, us human beings believe, that we're simply our body. And, that's why people are considered egotistical when they consider, how they look, and that's all that matters. And that when they consider that all they care about is power and things that are materialistic, is because they believe that they're separate from everyone else. And that creates the false sense of of their ego. In return, the energy is increased for the devil on his side. The way I look at it is there's really two sides. There's the one self, which is God, and then there's the ego, which is the devil. So when Adam was fooled into believing that the ego was real by becoming self-conscious and comparing himself to an illusion that wasn't there, he created fear, and that fear that energy went to the camp of the devil, and then that devil used that extra energy to increase his power, and then that's how he was able to infiltrate this entire system within our soul. And he did that with all these different souls over time to the point where we are today, where everyone believes that they're separate from everyone else. If you think about it, if you really think about it, that's true. Everyone, for the most part these days, believes that they're only their body. There's not too many people in this world that believe that they're attached to everything in the universe at every present moment, and that there's no separation. And if they do believe that, it's hard for them to live in truth. It may be something they believe in, but taking it to the next level and actually implementing that in their life and living in that truth is difficult, because there's so much in everyone's life to be fearful of. And because fear is an illusion based on the illusion of separation, they're falling for the illusion in the way that they're living their life, and that's all that matters, is how you're living. And that creates that false sense of separation once again. So back to what the devil did was he created that gap between truth and untruth. That he consistently created the idea that the ego was real over time within the human collective soul, basically. And that took a lot of time to where we are today. And in that period of time, he was able to put people in positions of power, whether it be in the government, politics, entertainment. He cultivated, through the increase in energy from fear that was created from the illusion of separation over time, to put these people in power by manipulating what souls would be reincarnated at specific times to take on certain roles within the world, and to ensure that the dominance of specific agenda items were put in place, whether it be in law, whether it be in healthcare, whether it be in all different types of ways in which evil can continue to dominate and reinforce their dominant ideas and theology, basically, and ideology. And that was what has been done. Is that right now you'll see, and now to the current point in time that we're in now you'll see that there's so many people in positions of power that seem corrupt, that seem like they're not doing the right thing, that are you can just feel as though they're doing things behind the scenes that are terrible for us, basically. And that's because they are, and that's because they've intentionally been put there to do that. And the reason they're doing this is to subdue the consciousness level of all the other, other beings here, to ensure that we, as that one self, never raise our level of consciousness to understand what's really happening, and that we've been giving our authority away to illegitimate authority. We've been giving our authority away to something that doesn't exist, basically, if you think about it. Because like I said, the ego doesn't exist, and the ego or the devil represents ego. And so we're basically giving our power away to illegitimate authority, or it's a synonym for saying fear, the devil, to our ego, which isn't real, because we believe that we are separate from the experiences that we're experiencing. And that's created the world that we're in today, in which everything's inverted. We're not living in truth. We're living in lies, basically. We're living in a false sense of reality. We're living in a world where people believe that they're the ones controlling their life. They don't understand that at every present moment, your belief in yourself is what matters. So your belief in yourself is the same thing as saying your faith. And the same thing that faith means is the acceptance that everything that you're experiencing in the present moment is you. Because that is the truth, like I said. Now, it's hard to wrap your head around, but if the more you listen to this, hopefully the more it makes sense, is that, it's not going to happen overnight, because we've created such a world in which the ego seems real, where we believe that we're simply our body. But we have to reprogram our mind to understand that that's the furthest thing from the truth. The truth is that we're everything that we experience at every moment. And that means that there's no reason for judgment. There's no reason for defining anyone, including ourselves, because there's no way to define ourselves, because we're all one. There's no definition of who anybody is, who I am, who you are, who anybody listening to this video is. When you say I, and I am whatever your profession is, that's not who you are. That's not, even though in your mind, right now it may seem as though that's who you are, but that creates the false sense of your ego, and it creates that false sense of it being real. When in reality, what you are is everything that there is, and there's no way to define who you are because only God can do that. And the only way you can find out who you truly are in God's eyes is to accept that you are everything at every moment. So then the energy that comes in at every moment is accessible to you now. Because when you think your ego is real, you cut off the energy that's trying to surge into your soul. That's supposed to surge into your consciousness. You're cutting that off because you feel like you're just a small percentage of that. You're just your body, right? You're small. You shrink in self-belief basically, and because of that, because you think that there's something outside of yourself, and because you believe that there's a separation between you and everything, you shrink. And that causes the energy to shrink, and you don't understand that you have so much possibility and so much potential that you're shutting off when you do that, because you've never experienced what it's like on the other side to accept everything. And I could tell you, when you start doing that and you start accepting everything as yourself and stop trying to control anything, stop trying to control the outcome, stop trying to define yourself. And I think the biggest thing that's happening these days is people are comparing themselves to other people through Facebook, through other apps. But if you understand that everyone is a version of you, and that that version of you is within that consciousness, that one energy, and that is being projected out, you'll understand that there's no reason to compare yourself to anyone, because that means you'd be comparing yourself to yourself, and you can't compare yourself to yourself. That's like comparing yourself to a ghost, because there is nothing outside of you can compare yourself to. So you're comparing yourself to an illusion basically, and that creates. But if you do that, that creates that false sense of the ego being real. And in order to take that back, for us as a human collective to take our power back, is to stop believing your ego is real. And when you do that, the energy within the human collective, all of our souls together within the world, will start to decrease the energy that's going to those lower energies within that one consciousness. We'll start raising collectively our consciousness within every human soul all over the world. And the consciousness that was, towards the bottom of our consciousness level will now rise to a higher level, and we'll all have access to that now. And what that will mean is the energy that all these elites that are using right now to dominate the world will soon evaporate and decrease. And what that will also mean is we'll start to be more self-aware of the power that we hold within us, because as your faith increases that you are everything that you experience at every moment in time, your energy levels will increase, your consciousness level will increase. And what that means is that you'll be more able to live in truth. And what that means is that you'll be able to speak out and speak what you really believe, because you'll no longer be worried about what other people are going to think about you, because there is no one else outside of you. And it's going to become more evident to you in your daily experiences, and it's going to become more natural to you, to the point where you didn't even realize you've got to that point. It just happened so naturally that you are now speaking your mind. You're living more present. You're living the way that God intended you to live, basically, as you do that, if you think about it. Because as you speak out against the tyranny of this world, against the elites that I told you that don't want this information to go out, they will back away, because they don't have the energy to go up against us anymore, because we've collectively raised our consciousness level, and they don't have that energy access to fall back on to fight us anymore. This is the way that we beat the elites in the world. This is the way we change the world, is each one of us comes to the realization that the ego is not real. That's how we do it. I think a lot of us understand there's a lot of things going wrong in the world, and we want to fight it, but we don't understand that when we try to fight the people that are doing this to us, we're fighting a ghost, because there is no other person that we're fighting. Because like I said, we're all one consciousness. We're all in this together. So the very people that you're fighting are really the souls that represent the lower energy levels within the one consciousness projected out. So to fight that is to live in truth. And to live in truth is exactly what I talked about, where you accept all things as yourself. And we do this, all individuals do this all over the world. And incrementally we'll make changes, because it's not going to happen overnight. But if we start understanding this at a base level, that this is the truth, and individually we start working on doing this, as a human group, as all over the world, we'll be able to change the world, and we'll be able to do it in such a way that it'll be so amazing, because we'll start to see the potential that we have in ourselves that we never knew existed before. And that's the very thing that these elites were hoping to keep us from doing. The way that I look at it is like allowing these elites to rule the world is like allowing a child to tell his parents or her parents how to run the world, or how to run their life. And it's like, how can the parent who has more information, who has more education on the world, that's lived longer, that understands the world to a higher degree, be dictated to by a child? But that's what we're doing right now. It's the same exact metaphor, really. We're allowing people that have lower vibrational energies within our consciousness to dictate to the higher levels of consciousness, the ones that know more, on how to rule, on how to run their life. And that's because we haven't been able to collectively get to a level to where we understand what's happening, because we're still in darkness. But I'm here to let people know that I'm part of the light that's coming through into the world, and this is all going to change. And me presenting this to you right now is part of that light coming in, and that's part of us raising our level in our consciousness as a whole. And this faith that's coming into the world is now accessible to everyone else, because we're all integrated as one energy. So that means that everyone will be able to get access to the faith, to the light, to the new truths, to the all the illusions being broken. Everyone will have access to this now, and it's only going to help elevate us as a whole, and to break the chain that has been shackled upon humankind for thousands of years. So, it's a lot of information, and I might have missed some things that I wanted to talk about. I probably did, but that was really the majority of it. Was just that, I think the biggest thing that I wanted to let people know about is just how exciting the moment in time this is. We're at a historic moment in time, because we're breaking free from darkness. And I'm putting this channel together so that people can individually ascend to a new level as well. Because like I said, everyone will now have access to this new information, this new truth. The truth is coming through, and all lies and illusions are being broken. And that's going to mean a lot of things are coming out and going to come out in the media about the corruption and all of the terrible things that have been happening, that people in power have been doing. But it's also going to give us the ability to take our power back, and to number one, eliminate the belief that the ego is real, to accept all things as yourself, and then 3, to unveil to yourself the true potential that you have, and the infinite potential that you have when you accept all things as yourself. And you'll start to live the life of your dreams, because as you elevate your consciousness, you'll be able to manifest your reality more quickly, because you're now in alignment with God. You're now in alignment with truth, and you'll be able to see just how effective your imagination can be when you're living in truth, because you're no longer getting in the way of yourself. You're no longer shrinking in self-belief, and you're understanding that anything is possible. And that allows you to wake up in the morning and not have to worry about anything, because you know that fear is simply an illusion. You know that anxiety is an illusion. So that frees up all that energy that's being wasted just to cling on to a solution to a problem that is an illusion. Any problem that comes from fear or anxiety is an illusion. But think about if that's true, and hopefully my video up until this point has proven that to be true. Think about how much energy is wasted on trying to solve an illusion. Now, secondly, think about now all that open energy being alleviated because of the fact that illusion is evaporated, because you understand the truth. You have that access to energy now to do amazing things in your life. So that's what we have to look forward to. God is here. I'm just letting people know God is here, and that this is all coming out, and that we have an amazing time to look forward to. And I just want to wish everyone the best. God bless you guys. Stay prayed up. Once again, a relationship with God is everything that there is. That's the most important thing that you can do in your life, because he's going to be able to transform you. If you take this information to heart and you develop an even stronger relationship than the one you might have right now with God, he'll be able to transform you even quicker than you can imagine, with prayer and by building a more intimate relationship with him in which you talk to him not only when things are going poorly, but when things are going well, so that he knows that you're not just looking for him to solve your problems, that you're taking accountability for your life. And one of the best ways to take accountability for your life is to talk to God, no matter whether things are going good or bad. All right, so that's everything that I have for today. Like I said, stay prayed up. God bless you guys. Love you. Take care.